All right, all right. Hello, Smart Money Moves Facebook community. Welcome to our monthly free resource event. We are so excited to have you here. We have 30 minutes that's going to be jam-packed with a step-by-step guide for you to be able to get rid of debt and do it for good. I'm your host, 𝑭𝑬𝑬, joined by my husband, 𝑏𝑜𝑏𝑦. And today, guys, I just want to say that this is going to be an exciting time that we have here together. And the reason why I say that it's exciting, because most people wouldn't say that debt is the most exciting thing to talk about. But the thing that makes this different is that we're going to go about this in a way that maybe it's a little bit new for you, as it is also for us. You know, I want to say that Bobby and I, we've been married for 12 years. We have 2 boys. One is special needs. On my end, I've had my end of health challenges over the years. So debt, being an entrepreneur with special needs and health challenges that have been ongoing, we know how it feels. We know how it feels to go at it with a plan. And we know how it feels to have gone without a plan. And I want to tell you guys that going at it with a plan does feel different, and it will feel different. And it might not be easy in the beginning because, like most of us, we have habits around money. We have mindset around money that maybe wasn't serving us the way that we wanted to, but we're going to be changing that. So stick with us. The next 30 minutes is going to be such great resources. And what we'll do is we're going to link in here a special free resource for you guys for joining us this month. That's going to really be a great tool and a guide to helping you feel confident, in control, and excited about the direction. So with that, I'm going to have Bobby go ahead and take it away.
All right. Do you want me to just get past this, or did we already go over this? No. Okay, perfect. Well, everybody, so let's go ahead and get started here. Getting out of debt, achieving financial stability is a challenging but essential goal for middle-income families. What we have here created is a 15-step-by-step plan that is really easy to follow, really easy to navigate. We're going to be emailing this out to everybody afterwards. And I really believe that this could be a door that could be unlocked for you. This could be a path that people will follow and they will achieve financial freedom. And it's very specific. So let's get into it. So number one is obviously assess your debt situation. So I got these paper clips on the left are disorganized, and then we got the paper clips on the right that are cleaned up, right? And that's kind of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make a list. What are all the debts that we have? Credit cards, personal loans, car loans, mortgages, and any outstanding bills. That would be like, I guess, bills and credit that you have that are in collection. And let's just write them all out, figure out what we have, and then get the interest rates, the minimum payments, and the total outstanding balance. So all we're doing now is just getting organized with all the things that we have. This could be the scariest part of the plan, but maybe the most empowering part. Let's just know where we're at. Number 2.
Hey, Bobby, hold on one second. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. With step 1, one thing I want to encourage, do this with your spouse.
Yep.
There tends to be in most marriages one spouse that's the one that wants to take control of everything, and the other one just sits back and says, go ahead, honey, have at it. But I will say step number 1, and all of these steps, if you're on the same page together, the steps will work much better doing it together. So I just wanted to preface this. All these steps, if you have a spouse, you want to do that with them together. Even if it's hard, it will be worth it.
I agree. That's good. Okay, now let's create a budget. So budget's kind of a weird word, right? But what we're trying to do is develop a detailed monthly budget that includes all of your income and all your expenses. And let's try to categorize everything. Fixed bills, your mortgage, your rent, and then variable bills, right? Groceries, gas, entertainment. Identify areas where maybe we can cut back a little bit. You might be able to find that right away. That might really illuminate itself. Step 3, let's start with creating an emergency fund. Okay, so the emergency fund there's a lot of theories on this, but it says aim for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. So you got to know how much it costs you to live. Sometimes I joke around with people and I say, okay, how much would it cost you if you had to get on the ramen noodle diet and you're really like bare bones, I need to just survive this thing. Okay, what's that number? That's what we're really talking about here. Maybe you just lost a job unexpectedly, or maybe things get really tight unexpectedly and you don't want to get into panic mode because you don't have any money. This 3 to 6 months is that stockpile of cash that is available in case you need to tap into it to live on for a few months. Okay. It also could be those unexpected expenses. If you own a home, you know about the water heater, you know about maybe some windows breaking at some point. If you drive a car, maybe you need 4 new tires unexpectedly. There's things that you need cash for. And what this is a buffer. It's going to keep you from going into debt. It's going to be that buffer between, I need $1,000. I could swipe the credit card, or I could use my emergency fund. Okay. Number 4, prioritize your debts. So we have some theories on this here in the next couple slides, but we're going to list the debts in order of interest rates, highest interest rates at the top, and focus on paying the high interest rate debt first to minimize interest costs. Now, on the next slide, it says choose debt payment repayment plan. It's a little bit tricky. And, if you follow Dave Ramsey or if you follow other individuals, there's a couple ways to look at this. So choose your strategy and just stick to it. So the debt snowball method says just pay the smallest debt off first. And then you take that minimum payment on the smallest one and you add it to the next smallest one, the bigger one. And then you keep adding them. You kind of take the payment. Once that debt's paid off, once that's paid off, you add that to the next one. Once that's paid off, you add all that to the next one and you go smallest to the largest. The avalanche method, I've never seen that before. The avalanche method says, hey, I'm going to pay off the highest interest debt first, so you could save the most interest in the long term. Really, in my opinion, is you need to do what you're most confident in. What you're excited about is what matters. Okay, if you're excited about chopping off the small ones first, then you go for it, right? I know at times I've looked at it more like, okay, so the highest interest one is much larger than the lower interest one. And the lower interest one, though, I'd pay it off in 3 months, where the higher interest one I may not pay off for a year and a half. So why don't I pay off the smaller one to free up that money faster, and then I can attack the higher interest one? So you really have to have a plan, but buy into it. Okay. You might have a car payment that's going to be paid off in 6 months. Well, in my opinion, if your car payment's $500, you should pay off your car payment before the credit card, because now that $500 is available to then chop down the principal on that credit card. So you really got to look at it. I mean, we could do math, but again, I think what you're most excited about is what matters. Now, Amy, what we don't want to do is we don't want to attack them all at the same time. That would not be good. You attack all the credit cards at the same time, what ends up happening is they slowly will all go down, and you'll end up paying more interest overall on all of them. So you want to take one at a time and stack and just knock them down like dominoes.
Bobby, before you go on to number 6, what I wanted to share with everybody in having that plan, just know that if this feels like it's a little bit much to do on your own, you don't have to do that alone. I think a lot of people go into these things and they feel like, okay, I need to do all the things at once. And this is the first time you've ever done an exercise like this. That feeling can be a little bit daunting and cause you to want to move away from what is actually really good for you. It just feels hard right now. So utilizing a coach, I know that we offer this type of thing as a service for our clients, where we could use, tools and software to do some of the heavy lifting of the thinking of where do I start and how do the numbers compute and what makes sense. So I just want to encourage you guys, don't feel like you can't reach out to somebody for help on this and guidance. There are people who do this professionally that know things and ways of thinking about it that maybe you haven't considered and you wouldn't be expected to know because it's not your wheelhouse. And I think sometimes debt becomes this thing of like, I'm a little embarrassed to share. We all have it. Don't be embarrassed. It's like, dirty underwear. We all have dirty underwear at some point, right? It's just a normal thing. It's okay to ask for help.
Absolutely. And I didn't mean to rush past this. I'm going to skip back to the emergency fund, because here's the tendency. It's really exciting to think about, okay, I'm going to attack my debt. But the reason why the emergency fund comes first is because you need that buffer. It's like, okay, I don't have any money in the bank account. I got all this debt. Let me just focus on paying off my debts. No, the first step is to build up a little cash, and that cash buffer, a couple $1,000s, maybe $6,000. And maybe it's only $1,000. Dave Ramsey talks about $1,000. Keep that in cash, get that set up, and then let's start attacking debt. And that will slow down you continually using debt. Okay. Number 6, you got your emergency fund. You've prioritized your debts. You have a plan. You set that on autopilot. Okay. Another option to add to this is to increase your income potentially. Okay. So, try to go to your job and ask for a raise. Try to get some overtime. Try to have a garage sale. Maybe have a side hustle. Have something to do to make some extra income. And maybe it's only for a season of time. Maybe you pick up some seasonal work. You say to yourself, okay, this next 3 months, I'm going to pick up this side job, and all the extra money I make from my side job is going to go to this debt. And then after that, it's my reward is I'm going to quit this job. Okay. It's just, something in the short term that says, okay, I'm going to do it for a season because I want to get myself financially on track. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Number 7, cut the non-essential expenses. This one hurts. This one, you can actually feel the scissors, right? You're like, oh, do I want to do that? Right. Reduce the discretionary spending on maybe dining out, entertainment things, non-essential items, and redirect that money down to your payment plan. And so I do this. We, look at the last 30 days, last 60 days of your spending, and you look at, okay, what's my regular recurring bills? And then you say, what do I really not need anymore? I signed up for this. Do I still use it? And if you don't use it anymore, or you think you kind of use it, what I would do is cancel it. And then what'll end up happening is you find out you really did use the service. Those companies will often want you back, and they'll give you a deal to come back. So it's not like if they have this fear of, oh, what if I cancel Netflix? Listen, Netflix wants you back. Okay. They might actually offer you some free Netflix if you come back in 3 months. I know I did that with Panera Bread. I pay the $12 a month for the free Panera Bread. It's the unlimited sip club. And I said, you know what, let me cancel it for a month or two. Well, I hit the cancel button. They said, would you like to stay on for 3 more months at $5 a month? I'm like, okay, maybe I'll stay for $5 a month. That happens all the time. Find what you can cut, find what you can live without. And again, maybe it's just for a season. Okay, negotiate interest rates. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't work. Contact your creditors and inquire about lowering your interest rates or negotiating more favorable terms. This could be your credit cards, personal loans, student loans. What I've experienced with my clients and the conversations that I have personally with individuals is that the credit card companies are not willing to negotiate. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you don't have any control. It doesn't mean you can't search around and create some buying power on your end. Say, okay, listen, I'm actually considering doing a balance transfer over here. I was wondering if you can match that interest rate if I just stay. Or if you have variable student loans, to go to a bank or go online and try to get fixed student loans, refinance those into fixed loans. Figure out ways to negotiate or establish lower interest rates on what you currently have. Automate payments. I'm imagining in the world that we live in today, most people have automatic payments set up. It says use additional funds to make extra payments on high priority debts. Here's something to keep in mind. On your credit card debt, if you have an automatic minimum payment, what ends up happening as you continually pay down your balance, your minimum payment goes down. It'll automatically reduce your minimum payment to your credit card because your interest is lowering. And so therefore your payment is lowering. So I think a good idea would be, instead of having a minimum payment automated, I would set it as a specific amount. So let's say the specific amount is $100. Well, if the minimum payment's $100, eventually that minimum payment will be $90 and then $80 and then $70. And that's just going to lengthen the time it's going to take to pay off that debt. Well, if you establish a fixed amount of $100, then, you know, every single month, $100 is going there, and it's going to attack the principal much faster. Even though your balance is going down, your interest amount will be lesser. So you'll have more going to principal. So just establish a fixed amount versus just paying the minimum payment. Little hack there. Track your progress, celebrate your success. Let's monitor this. I talked to a bookkeeper the other day, and she told me that she thinks it makes sense to do weekly at first. Weekly, track your income and track your expenses weekly, and be checking off your progress and monitor your progress. And I would say it's very important not to be down on yourself if you go behind a little bit. You know, just knowing where you're at and then seeing, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I'm able to control this a little bit more than I thought. And then if you find yourself actually achieving your goal, give yourself a reward. You know, go out for ice cream, maybe have a celebration, do something. Okay, I recommend going down to our spot here in Portage Lakes. They have great ice cream. Okay, avoid taking on new debt. Okay, we don't want to be going backwards. Okay, and this might be if you're in a situation where you have a certain lifestyle where you're used to going out all the time and you're used to doing takeout orders or door dashing your food, and now you're trying to change that. This might be hard for you because you're used to just using that credit card. And now you're saying, nope, I'm no longer going to use my credit card and I'm going to be making adjustments in my life. Okay, so stop the debt so we can reverse this thing. Number 12, let's get learned up. Okay, let's get some financial education. Maybe read a book on personal finance. You know who I see that's the most on fire about their money are people who read the Dave Ramsey books. They go to the Financial Peace University. There it is, that book right there. You know, Susie Orman.
It's right on my desk, Bobby. I keep it there. It's a great book.
it just does something when you have the mindset of doing better with money and you read about it and you see successes, you get fired up about it, right? And then it keeps you motivated to stay on task. Okay, and then you're going to learn strategies. You might learn something that will help you, and it might just be that one nugget that clicks in your brain and you go, I get it now. And it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing because you're motivated for you. Okay, maybe you take a webinar. Maybe you go online and you look up free webinar to learn about money. Go on YouTube, strategies to do better with money. Now I want to warn you, there's a lot of social media influencers that think they have good ideas and they make videos about them and put them on TikTok and on YouTube. Be careful that you don't follow some guru that's giving you some weird ideas. Okay, follow some really sound financial principles. Use common sense when it comes to money matters.
Bobby, really quick, I wanted to add something. I liked what you were talking about here. And I think that the thing that shifts is it becomes, now you have this place of empowerment that you can come from. You know, like as humans, I think about, you know, Bobby runs marathons. He's wild and crazy, right? I bet that when you first started running, you didn't ever think, oh, I could run a marathon. And there was probably in training for that a couple of times that you thought, can I run a marathon? Am I like, but you know, with anything that's hard, the more that we do it, and when we prove to ourselves we can do hard things, what does it make us want to do? Empowerment comes up. We want to do it more. We say, what can I do that's even harder than that? And it becomes this game where it's actually fun because now you see a growth. You see a change. You know, it's not always overnight. In fact, I don't think it's ever overnight, but it's going to be little by little. 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, you're going to look back at yourself and go, wow, look who I've become. Look at the habits I've created. That's why I love this community. It's those little tidbits every day of teaching ourselves how to think the right way about money. That's what it creates, is a new being. So I just wanted to share that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and wrap this up here, Bobby.
All right. 13, seek professional help if necessary. If you're overwhelmed by debt and struggling to make payments, consider consulting a credit counselor, a financial advisor. I would consider doing that, you know, maybe take some time to pray about that first make sure it's the right thing for you and your relationship, and go get the help that you need. And it might just be one visit, or it might be 6 months of visits, but we pay for coaching. I know I have coaches in certain areas of my life with fitness and in other areas, and coaches are good. Coaches are there for a reason. So if you go ask for help, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is a sign of strength, that you're able to ask for help. And that person will reach back and say, I'm here, let me help you. And we know some great people. So if you're looking for some contacts with budgeting or counseling or some ideas, we know awesome people. Okay, number 14, you just said this, be patient, be persistent. You know, this lady here, she's meditating. She's being patient in front of her computer there. She's praying to the budget gods. Please make it work out for me. This is for real though. You know, it didn't take 6 days to get into debt. Okay. It took you years, and it was a long time. It's okay if it takes a long time to get out of debt. The time's going to happen anyway. You might as well make progress and improve your situation and get yourself out. Your future self needs you to be patient, and you'll be happier for it in the future. Lastly, build a strong financial foundation. Once you're debt free, continue budgeting, continue saving, continue investing to build wealth and to secure your financial future. Turn the I can't into the I can in that picture there. And I want you to think about a future where I have control of my money. All of my debt payments are now being invested into my IRAs. All my debt payments are now going into savings accounts. All my debt payments, some of them I'm putting into my grandchildren's college funds. You're taking that money that was going to interest rates to pay banks back, and now you're using it for your good. And it's really incredible. So I hope those 15 steps were helpful. We're going to email this all back out to you. We're going to have it all typed up nice and clean. Hopefully you can print it out. And what I would love is to see some of you print those out, put them on your refrigerator, and post them on our Smart Money Moves group, and see you guys check off those boxes and making steps towards your progress. Okay, free resource I want to share with you, and then we're going to wrap this up here, is Money Sherlock. So Money Sherlock is a free resource that we have for our members in our community, which is like a financial checkup tool. And it's really nice. And the question that I would ask you is, are you aware of all the different programs that are available to you in regards to retirement planning, college saving, investing, etc.? And if you're like us and you're like, nope, don't know everything that was available to me, then this tool, in a very fast way, 5 minutes, actually identifies review points. It's kind of like a traffic light system. It tells you the green ones you're doing great, the yellows that maybe you should pay attention to in the future, and then there's red that says these are maybe more urgent today. So anybody that is part of our community, they have an opportunity to go through this checkup at no cost at all, no obligation, obviously, either. And you'll be able to get real review points to say, hey, here's actionable items. These are areas that I can improve to have a much stronger financial plan for ourselves. So, Amy, this was fun. I think we had a great time on this.
Always so great. Always so great. Love the value that we get. And I just want to share this as we wrap up. You know, we're along with you guys on this. This is a journey. It's something that we're always growing in. We're always trying to get better. As Bobby said, please share with us if you guys are having great results from utilizing any of the tools or resources, or, you know, just even the mindset that we share in this group. Feel free, share those with us. It's an encouragement to us that we're helping to make a difference. And we'd also love to know what's helping, you know, to work things in favor for your good, and what's helping you guys get on track with feeling great about your money. Until next time, we'll see you guys next month, second Tuesday, same time, same place, 11 a.m. inside the Smart Money Moves free resource community. Please share with a friend. We'll see you then.